This isn't Southwest Missouri. I'm in Odessa, Florida. And this is Lake Ann. Been coming down here now for about 3 years. Every time I come down, I get in the canoe and sunrise and run along the bank and pick up a few bass. And then before sunset, do it all over again. Pretty good fishing. Haven't caught any real big ones, but I caught a lot of fish. But all that's changed. If you look right down there in that water, you can see that green stuff right there. It's called Hydrilla. And it's taken over the lake. Did have lily pads before, but they gave fish cover. Were good places to fish. But if you look out there, you'll see water's pretty calm, and there's a mass of hydrilla floating right in through here. Just the other side of that, over in there, is a place where it's deep enough it hadn't filled in yet. Now I'm going to try to fish that, but fishing this hydrilla, the only way you can fish it is top water, because it'll snag the instant your lure hits the water. So I came over to take a look, come up with a plan, because tomorrow I'm going to tackle this and see if there's any fish biting. Morning. The project today is to install a side splash on a bathroom counter. It's made up of some sort of a cultured material, and the backsplash is in place. They found a similar, although not exactly the same, side splash material that they could use, but it's not the right height. I'll show you what that looks like. There's the material. It's fairly similar. I think it'll match up pretty good. But as you can see, it's not the right height. So what I'll need to do is I'll need to cut along this edge here so that it drops down and is level. Okay? I'll go ahead and get that marked. But first, you'll notice that there's a gap here that's bigger than the one out here, and that's because there's a little bit of silicone caulk, or caulk of some kind, in there. So I'll need to cut that out of the way so it can drop, and then I'll get my mark on it. So set you up and I'll get that out of there. There it is. Okay. So next, I think, okay, this material has two different edges. Okay, it has a flat profile here and an angled profile here. Normally, you would install it so that the angled profile is at the top. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is angled and this is square. However, backsplash that they have already is flat. So I'll technically be cutting off the angled edge and installing it upside down. Okay. So let's set that angled edge up there and get a measurement. The bottom of the green mark. And the bottom of the green mark. Okay, so next steps, I'll cut it from the back. So I'll transfer this mark to the back edge. I need a mark along here because I'm going to take and put a piece of masking tape along this back edge here and mark my liner down here. So I'll have a gauge against which I can set a guide board. So I'll go work on that. So I need to make sure that's bonded really good along that cut line. I don't really care about the backside. I just don't want it blowing out too badly whenever I cut through to the front. I don't know how it's going to work. I've not cut this particular material. Best I can tell, it is a resin impregnated silica product, which means that it's going to throw up a lot of dust, and it's going to be very, very difficult to cut without chipping. So I'll show you what I came up with, and that is a 4-inch diamond cutting blade. Okay, it's one that has 4 segments, I believe, and quite a bit of diamond impregnation. It's for fine cuts, or as it says, precise cutting. Have it already mounted on the angle grinder. I'll show that to you when we get ready to use it. As I said, I'm not really worried about tear out here on the back side, but I think I can draw a more precise line without any bleed out into the stone if I draw it on the piece. All right, let's mark along that edge. if I figured this out right, then this board right here should clamp right along that mark. I don't know. We'll see. Pretty straight. Board has a little bit of a bow. Let me flip it over. Oh yeah, that lays on there much better. Okay, so now I should be able to take and zip it right along there. Let me move this out. So that I have enough bite when I get it to the cutting table. All right, so there it is. Have the board marked, have it marked out exactly where I want to cut it. The blade I'm going to use actually has 6 segments and diamond impregnated around the rim. It's thin. I'd say that's a 1/16 inch. Okay. Angle grinder is a 20-volt DeWalt rechargeable. It says it travels at 8,000 RPMs, which is probably a little faster than I need. But I'm going to try to take it and follow along that edge. Okay. And I'm going to have to reposition my clamps. But let me turn around the other way and see if that works better. Oh yeah. And let me put a mark right on that tape. See if it goes the right location. Yeah, it's going to cut right on the line. Okay. Going to be using a little water to keep it from being so dusty, and we'll take several passes. So I'll get set up and I'll get that done. Alright, see how that works. seems to cut through there decent. Went about a 1/16 of an inch deep. Don't want to push it too much. Try another one. Okay, we got a little bit more to trim. Let me wash that out so I can see what my kerf looks like. Had to go close the gate. Got these little lizards here in Florida that invade the lanai, the little screened in cover over the pool. And I think they're cute, but it ain't my house. And they don't want them in, so. Alright. Let's see if we can clean this up. There we go. Alright. Let's get a look and see what we've got for an edge. Okay, it's not bad. Got one little ridge right in there. So I'm going to set it down, clamp it back, and try to trim it. I really want to trim it with pressure down on it. So that I can minimize chipping, like using a backer board in woodworking. Same concept. Okay, see if I can do this. I think that's got it. One more pass. see the dust, the smoke, the dust turn to smoke, you know you're cutting wood. So, alright, let's peel this tape off. Let's see what we've got. Well, it ain't a factory edge. Got just a little bit of chipping along here, but the caulk's going to cover that, so I'm going to call that a success. Yep, need to install it. Okay, let's set this in here. Some toothpicks. Okay, so it needs to be up a little bit right here. And let's see what that looks like. Just a touch more in the front, so that needs to come down a touch. What does that look like? Oh yeah, all right, there we are. We're bubbled out right there. So let's glue it in place right there. We'll glue it to the wall and then hold it in place for an hour or so till the caulk sets up, and then we'll come back and we'll caulk this crack along the bottom here. Not perfectly straight, but it'll all disappear when I caulk it. Just need a few dabs. Come on. Well, I cut that too small, obviously. Cut it a little bigger. Yeah, that'll do it. All right. Touch it to the top first so that it smushes down and doesn't come up too bad. Got a little close to the top right there. All right. Get that level on there. See where we're at. Okay. Get that pressed against the wall. They use these donuts to keep the grass from growing around the sprinklers. And they don't weigh too much, but surely they'll stay in place. May have to wet the rag to get it to grip. And we'll start it with that. Oh yeah, a lot better. Oh yeah. Okay. So let me put one out here toward this end. They're concrete. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, that'll hold it against the wall while it dries. Then I can come back in about, I don't know, an hour or so. After that sets up, then I can go ahead and caulk it. I want to seal this edge here against the wall. Then the bottom seam and up this crack here. That'll stop the water from getting into the wall. I think that'll do it. So here it is next morning. The piece appears to be adhered to the wall. Let me get this stuff out of the way. Oh yeah, that's on there getting solid. So let's see if we can get a little caulk spread on that. I'm going to use a white caulk. There's a clear caulk along here, but I'm going to use white because if I use clear, the cracks will show. As I told you before, this piece wasn't really made to fit into this other one. That's it. Okay. So this is the last part of a complete bathroom remodel. Get this off my hands and I'll show you the sink here and a vanity were added. New fixtures, light. They put a tile surround in the bathtub. New fixtures. Did not replace the bathtub. It was fine. Oops. New stool and a vinyl plank floor. Now bathroom is complete. So methinks my job here is done, and I can go to the pool. My granddaughters were needing some place to do their homework. So I threw this together, sent it to Florida, and hung it on the wall. I do appreciate you watching, and you have nothing less than a wonderful day.